Hello, my name is Eric. I'm a senior design engineer here at DR Power Equipment, and today I'm going to be walking you through the installation for the onboard hose kit of your XD45 Leaf Lawn Vacuum. Your kit should include one vacuum hose and handle assembly, one nozzle bracket, one hose storage bracket, a hose flap assembly, one snout flap assembly, one snout flap rod, one each of the T1 and T2 handles, and the following hardware included in your kit. You can pause now to review the list. And we'll need a few tools for this as well. A Phillips head screwdriver, a 1/4 inch Allen wrench, and 2 1/2-inch wrenches. Now that we have everything, let's get started. The machine I'm using here today is brand new and doesn't contain any fuel yet. If you've used your machine already, make sure to drain the fuel before starting this procedure. We have a quick tutorial for how to drain the fuel off any engine on our YouTube channel, which we've also linked below. Next, to be extra safe, I'm going to start by removing the spark plug wire from the spark plug by pulling the rubber cap off of the ceramic spark plug. This will ensure that the machine cannot start up while I'm working on it. Now that the machine is safe to work on, let's start by installing the hose instruction label to the top of the snout. Peel the backing from the label and line the corners up with the recess on top of the snout. Press down firmly to adhere it to the snout. With the label applied, tip the XD45 back onto its handlebars for easy access under the snout. Remove the snout plug by pinching the spring tabs together and sliding the plug up from out of the snout. With the snout facing you, install the snout flap assembly into the snout so that the metal bracket passes through the slot with the flat side of the bracket facing you. Hold the assembly firmly and pass the rod included with your kit into the snout from the right side, ensuring that it passes through all of the channels in the snout and the snout flap, like a belt through belt loops. Pausing at the plastic ribs here to insert the torsion spring. To install the torsion spring, I like to hold it in my hand like this, with my thumb on the center legs and the 2 outer legs facing up. Insert the torsion spring so that the 2 outer legs rest on the ribs inside of the snout. Press firmly and apply counter pressure with your thumb to rotate the spring into position and push the rod through the torsion spring. Continue pushing the rod so that it passes through the torsion spring and finally through the rest of the channels on the snout and snout flap assembly until it is visible on both sides of the snout. Before we secure the rod, let's make sure we installed it correctly by opening and closing the snout flap assembly a few times. The torsion spring should push the flap into the open position. Now that we know the flap assembly is installed correctly, let's secure the rod using the 2 6mm push-on nuts on either end. With the flap secure, let's tip the machine down and install the flap handle. Position the T1 handle on the back side of the bracket and secure it with the extension spring and the dowel pin like shown. Now, place the T2 handle on top of the T1 piece, sandwiching the metal bracket between the two. Secure the handle assembly with the number 6 screws. Tighten the screws with the Phillips head screwdriver in an alternating pattern until they're fully secured. Now that we have the flap installed, let's attach the hose. We'll start with the wire-form hose bracket. Looking at the back of the collection lid, you'll see 2 holes. Align the bracket with the holes and install the 5/16 18 by 1 inch hex flange bolts. Tighten the bolts using a 1/2-inch wrench. Next, we'll install the nozzle caddy to the left-hand side of the lower handlebars. Align the caddy with the holes on the lower handlebars and install using the 5/16 18 by 1 1/4 inch bolts and the 5/16 18 lock nuts. Tighten the hardware using 2 1/2-inch wrenches. With the brackets installed, let's install the hose. Remove the port cover using the 1/4 inch Allen wrench and set it aside. We recommend saving the hose port cover and the hardware in case you ever want to remove the hose from the machine in the future. Position the hose flap assembly over the opening on top of the snout with the handle pointing towards the front of the machine. Now, place the hose intake on top of the hose flap so that it's angled away from the machine and secure it to the snout using the 5/16 18 by 3/4 inch flange head bolts. Due to the reinforced structure of the hose, it will resist twisting during operation and storage. For best storage results, we have a simple trick to help you optimize the orientation. Extend the hose out from the machine in a line so that it's perpendicular to the machine. If you can feel the hose wanting to rest with the handle underneath the hose or it's pulling to either the left or right, loosen the hose clamp on the machine with a Phillips head screwdriver and twist the hose until the handle naturally rests on top. Retighten the hose clamp to secure the hose in this new position. Now we can route our hose onto the machine as shown in the hose routing diagram. Routing the hose on the left side of the machine ensures that it stays away from the hot exhaust gas and the muffler that's on the right side of the engine. Never route the hose near the exhaust gas or the muffler. Finally, reinstall the spark plug wire by pressing the cover firmly onto the end of the spark plug, ensuring that there's no play in the wire. And that's it. Your XD45 is now ready for handheld operation. Before operating the XD45, remove all large debris and potentially hazardous materials. This includes glass, heavy durable plastic or metal containers, gravel or rocks of any size, nails, screws, wire, and other construction debris. Large sticks and branches should also be cleared away as they could potentially get stuck inside the hose or damage the machine. You should also make note of areas with loose mulch, low-lying plantings, in-ground lights, or sand. Any items that could be loosened or sucked up into the machine accidentally. To redirect suction to the hose, lift the flap assembly handle up and forward to seal off the snout, and turn the handle on the hose flap to the side. You can now use the hose to remove leaves and debris from hard-to-reach areas up to 8 feet from the machine. That's it. For more information, reference your user manual, which can be found on our website. Thank you for watching.